Hello there, how's it going? This is just a quick video to show you how to cut a model if you don't know how to do it, if you've never done it before, if you don't have any 3D software. Don't worry, it's super simple. People who have Blender and things like that and are familiar with it will just be able to do it no problem. I'm just going to show you to do it quick and easy and for free. So you want to download a program called Meshmixer. It's for PC and Mac. It's completely free. I'll put the link in the description. And you want to choose your model and then just click import. So whatever model you want to do, let's just do an example with the Biker Scout. You go to the files and we're going to use, well, let's just open it all up and just wait for it to import. My computer is incredibly slow these days, so give me a sec, I'll edit this out in the video. Right then, a lot of my files, what I've been doing with recently is arranging them in 3D and then exporting them so that when you open them, they're all together. But the older files won't be like that, so they may just come in kind of like gibberish like this, just all over the place. And if they come in and they're not facing the right way up, simple fix, just go over to your object browser, hold shift and select all of them, and then go to transform, and you see on here the rotate X. You just want to highlight that and press 90 degrees and enter. So just minus 90, enter and accept. That gets them all the correct way up. And then you want to arrange them. So let's bring the sun visor up over here. Again, it's just edit and transform to move things around. And if you've never used it before, it is a bit kind of fiddly because you can think you're somewhere in 3D space and you're about a million miles away from it. And by the way, you see that there's a ruler when you move. If you press up or down on your keyboard, so down would be like large chunky movements. If you want to fine tune it, just keep clicking up on your arrow on your keyboard and you see how it's gone a bit finer. You can then move it with finer movements, and you can zoom in. To zoom in and out, I use like the Mac Magic Mouse, so it's just, you know, it would be your center scroll wheel, I guess. And to move around the object, it's hold right click and you can move around it. But to also just lock a position in place and move around, it is Alt and Shift, and you can move it around with holding those down and a left click, and you can move around that way. So they're your three basic movements. Let's just bring that up there. Basically, we want to be lining up these circles there. You can also rotate using these like that. You can Command Z it to undo any movements. So that looks okay, except it's cutting in there. You can see the models conflicting, so let's just bring that out there. Check the other side. That looks pretty damn good. Okay, so he's in position, so we accept that. Let's bring the mask over. Hopefully you won't have to fiddle around with things like this depending on the model that you choose, and if there's a whole, like one piece, like the helmet is all the parts combined in the folder, depending on the helmet you can use that, but obviously I want to be printing these parts separately once we've cut it. So I would recommend doing, I know it's a bit fiddly, but you'll get a better result. But you can just, you know, combine them all, or if they're already combined as a one piece, you can just use that and just print that. It just depends how precise you want to be, you know. Right, so the mask looks good because it's joining up with there, but the sun visor looks a bit weird now. You see it's conflicting with the top of the mask, so let's just move that up a little bit. There we go. I think that's good. Okay, accessories and stuff, I don't think they're going to be involved because on this challenge we're just using one small part of the helmet. So It's not like a crazy big challenge to go away and spend like a week or two building one helmet, because it is quite time consuming. So we just want something quick and easy and fun. Still got some confliction there on the mask, just noticed, so let's bring him forward a bit to get rid of that. There we go. Right. So I'm just going to use like a quarter of the front section. Do I use the whole mask? I'm not sure. Still got some confliction there. Right, so whatever piece you have highlighted, either by clicking on it in there, in the main viewer, or on here, is what will be cut, basically. So, because it's not joined, as in, so look, I can hold down shift and select that, and then you can go to combine and turn them all into one part if you want. It really depends what helmet you're using and how fussy you want to be. So now that is just all one piece. So if I move it around, it moves everything. The parts are literally combined. So whatever I cut, I can do it that way. But let's just undo it for the sake of argument. Right, now we're going to want to make our cut. We can get rid of the accessories here. Look, just delete them. Unless they're affected by the cut, you don't really need them. So you want to select a part, and you want to go to edit and then plane cut, and you see that grid there, that is where it will cut, and you can move that anywhere you want, any angle. You can also draw a line and it will stick to that angle, or link, or whatever. It will just replicate that. And basically, I just want to use I think I just want to go across there like that. So we'll just use, probably the whole mask, most of the sun visor, and then a little bit of the helmet, and then the rest I'm going to bury in, I don't know, foliage or something. And you see that on this side it's solid and this side it's invisible. That means it's going to cut this side off, so we want to flip that. So you've got your movement arrows here, but when you click plane cut, you'll always have this big fat purple arrow here. That determines which side you're going to keep and get rid of. There's different ways to cut, but I don't want to confuse anyone, so just left click that and it flips. Right, so now it's going to cut away all of this side of the helmet. So let's do that, accept. Boom, gone. See that? And it's remeshed where you cut, but it's left these bits because they weren't joined. That's what I meant by when you join all the parts, you can just do one cut and job done. But if you do want to print them separately with a bit more high detail, just noticing this is all kind of not very well aligned. There we go. Right, so in order to get around that, you just need to do it manually. So we've cut that bit, right? Now we need to cut the sun visor in the exact same angle. So edit, plane cut, and again, if by drawing the line, the angle is really helpful because you can match it up. So it's left click and hold down to draw your angle. That wasn't very accurate, so I'm gonna follow it from here and sort of line it up like that. There we go. So now it's going to cut away the rest of the sun visor. You see this side is invisible. It would cut away that way if it's selected that way, but we want to get rid of this. So just have a quick check overhead. And we will be, it looks like, getting rid of some of our mask as well. So yeah, just make sure in your settings it's cut type discard half and file type remesh fill. That means wherever we cut, it's not going to be hollow, it's going to add a wall there and make it solid. Right, so we've done that. Now we need to get rid of this portion of the mask. You can See, we've still got some accessories there. Get rid of them. Alright, so edit. Oh, select the mask, edit, plane cut, and just exactly the same again. We're going to follow this line here. We're going to go up and go like that, and it's going to get rid of this portion of the mask. So accept that. That's it. Done. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work, I think. So basically, this, we're going to do a flat wooden board as the background, and then this is going to just sort of sit against it at an angle. And then I'm going to fill in bits with foliage, with background, with whatever, with however this guy died, basically. So all we have to print is these small portions of these three parts, and they will line up perfectly once we've printed them. Now, in order to save these parts to print, we just need to export them. So let's do them one at a time. So click on the mask, and over here is export. So you want to click on that, and wherever you want to save it, I'm just going to go to my desktop and save it there. Let's create a folder, like a project, boom, and just go mask. And you want to make sure this is set to STL binary format, okay? None of the others, just STL. Save. We want to click on the sun visor, same thing, export visor. And then click on the helmet, export helmet. Done. That's it. And then we'll jump over to, I use Elegoo Cura. Alright, so we've got Cura open now. So if I go to my desktop and I go desktop, biker, find my biker project there, and we open any one of these. So it opens exactly the part that we've cut with the bits missing. So then you can just set it up to print however you want. So yeah, you just set your parts up to print as normal, however you do it, whatever settings you use. Just double checking anywhere needs some supports. I never rely on just the warning. I always double check because it can miss parts out, and I just, it's a pain if it goes wrong. So let's just add a bit extra where it's going to add the auto supports. And you can see that wherever you've cut is a perfectly good wall there. So you're not going to get any surprises. So let's go 0.3, 3 walls, 6% infill, material. I'm going to bring that down to 10. Speed should be 70, and support 70 degrees, 6% gyroid. Oh, grid, sorry. Infill should be gyroid. Build plate adhesion raft, 5mm extra, 0.6 air gap. Boom, slice, let's go. So yeah, just do that with each one of your parts, and good to go. Alright, cheers. Looking forward to seeing what people build.